Transportation is so superb.
The level of accommodation is better.
Very close to the Prophet Mosque.
I felt I should still be here to still worship more.
The changes have been so magnificent, so incredible.
Medina was a wonderful experience.
They exceeded our expectation.
For me, the Hajj service scheme is something which we must start.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Welcome to another edition of the program As You Answer the Call. I am Binta Magaji, standing in for a regular anchor. The adoption of Information and Communication Technology (ICT) by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON) has in no small measure tremendously transformed its operations towards enhancing service delivery to Nigerian pilgrims. Tonight in our Spotlight segment, we shall focus on the different applications developed and deployed by NAHCON to make Hajj management and administration ICT compliant, as well as make it less cumbersome for pilgrims. We shall also feature our regular segments such as NAHCON News Diary and Making the Hajj. Details of this and more after the break. Thanks for being there. We begin the program with the News Diary as presented from our studio.
محمد نبينا بنور هدينا محمد نبينا بنور.
The chairman of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria (NAHCON), Alhaji Zikrullah Kulle Hassan, says the partnership between the commission and media organizations has been central to its successes. The chairman stated this when he received on courtesy visit the management of Folio Communications, publishers of Daily Times newspaper, at the conference room of Hajj House. He said past leaders of NAHCON had done great jobs for carrying the media along.
The doing of Nigerian journalism was part of the history of the commission. It was part of those who had managed the Hajj industry on behalf of the Nigerian people in the past. And for me, I believe that all of these people who have been part of it deserve our commendation, including the immediate past chairman and the one before him. All the past leaders have done their own bit. Our own duty is to add to what they have done. They remain, as far as I'm concerned, meant to be saluted, meant to be commended. So we just hope by the time we are leaving, we'll also be able to achieve something that will deserve people to write good things about us.
The NAHCON boss reiterated his commitment to make Hajj easy for Nigerians, particularly reducing the number of days spent by pilgrims after Hajj.
What we are committed to do, which we have told Nigerians, to try to see how we can make Hajj a little bit more easier. The truth is that it's not something that is easy. It's easier said than done, for reasons which are quite obvious. Hajj is not done in Nigeria. It's done at a country where the whole world is coming to at the same time. So what we wanted cannot just be given to us because we want it. They want to satisfy us in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in America. But still, we are committed to find a creative way to make the days spent in the Holy Land less, because it's quite clear, Hajj is just about 6 days' rights.
Earlier in his remarks, Daily Times editor-in-chief Aliyu Akoshile said they are ready to partner with NAHCON for more success in Hajj operations.
We have in mind an initiative to jointly begin to have a kind of annual conversation, a platform. It could be an annual summit on Hajj, which on our own part, we can get all the stakeholders, assemble them in partnership with NAHCON, so that at any given time there is constant discussion about how to achieve the basic objectives of Hajj, which is to make it possible for every Nigerian who has the means to go and come back and fulfill their fundamental religious obligations.
Meanwhile, the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON says all those affected by the suspension of Umrah by Saudi authority will be refunded their monies. In a statement by NAHCON Head of Public Affairs Fatima Sanda Usara said the refund will be made through the tour operators the pilgrims registered. Fatima Sanda Usara sheds light on the refund.
For those whose plan has been overtaken by the suspension, they should keep in touch with their Umrah tour operators so that they will get the refunds. Now, it hasn't been released yet. The Saudi Ministry of Hajj and Umrah are processing for the refunds. For those who have paid, maybe in future, in about 2 or 3 months' time, they can still leave the arrangements as they are, unless, of course, if the Saudi Kingdom decides to extend this suspension, which in turn affects their own date, then they can also go for a reclaim of the amount spent.
The statement further calls on the affected persons to make additional enquiries through the following numbers displayed on your screen. In another development, NAHCON Division for Pilgrims Education and Orientation is perfecting plans to commence enlightenment campaigns for pilgrims preparatory to 2020 Hajj. Towards this end, officials of the unit led by its leader Imam Ahmed Saad held an interactive session to fashion out areas of focus during the campaigns. The event took place at the conference room of the Hajj House.
It's easier for every pilgrim to learn. But the civic is the most difficult, because if you look at, apart from knowing how to go and do tawaf, visit this place, visit Medina, or go to Arafah, do this, they are just as simple, very easy. But the civic, the general pact, whatever is involved, is very, very difficult.
And then you talk about the issue of being good conduct by the Nigerian pilgrims.
Use of airports, vis-a-vis the luggage, the prohibited items, things that are expected of the intending pilgrims to, include in the bag, things that are not expected to put in the bag.
The officials then solicited the cooperation of intending pilgrims to enable the officials carry out the duties diligently. Alhamdulillah, if you're just tuning in, the program is As You Answer the Call, a public enlightenment presentation on the activities of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON is leaving nothing to chance in the use of information and communication technology (ICT) in Hajj management. The Commission is doing this through the use of different applications it has developed or plans to develop in the future. What are these applications and how are they designed to work for the benefit of pilgrims and other stakeholders? Answers to these questions and more in the next segment, Spotlight. Stay tuned for the details.
لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك والملك لا شريك لك.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria NAHCON is deploying the use of information and communications technology in its operations in order to ease, among others, pilgrims' registration, handling of flight schedules, as well as processing complaints and the organization of its health management systems. To achieve these objectives, NAHCON has developed and put into use various mobile applications. Among them are E-Directorate, Global Positioning System (GPS), Hajj Guide, and Pilgrims Movement System.
Since 2016, the Commission itself has embarked on what they call a Hajj Management System project. Now, the Hajj Management System project is a project the Commission hopes to achieve by converting or transforming all critical operations in Hajj operation. They want to convert all those critical activities and tasks during Hajj operation to become electronic.
The Pilgrims Movement System is designed to monitor the activities of pilgrims as they set out to embark on Hajj journey.
That system will tell you when a pilgrim is departing this country on real time. On real time, that means at the time that pilgrim is entering into his airplane and departing, that information is being captured, and the Commission will have a dashboard whereby it will show issues. It will pop up that 430 people are departing Abuja airport right at this moment, and then immediately they arrive in Medina or Jeddah airport, it will also read that 430 people just arrived Medina airport. So it happens real time. It also will go further to even inform the Commission that these 430 people have been distributed into so and so accommodations in Medina. It will also go further to tell them that these people have left Medina and now they are on their journey to Mecca. These people have been lodged into their hotel accommodation in Mecca. These people have moved from Mecca to Mishael. These people have returned from Mishael back to Mecca. These people have gone back to the airport, and these people have airlifted back to the country.
You can see we have Mecca. Under Mecca, we have Mecca Clinic. We have Muna tents. We have Alpha tents. We have Muzdalifah. Muzdalifah, normally in Nigeria, have a particular location whereby all the pilgrims are expected to be there. That is why the buses will be conveying them to Muna, back to Muna or to Jamrat. The Mecca accommodation locations, each state here, it's an entity on its own. They have their accommodation. For instance, Adamawa might have 5 houses. When you click on Adamawa, you will see the houses under Adamawa state.
Another important application that NAHCON is planning to deploy during the 2020 Hajj and beyond is the e-Directorate.
The e-Directory is a mobile app that we developed for us to input all the contact of the Hajj stakeholders, which involve all the staff, the national medical team, service providers. We have Muassasa, which are the people or the organization that is responsible for Nigerian pilgrims. So we will have all the Muassasa number, their head office. We have field officers which are attached to the Muassasa. To each Muassasa, for instance, you have field office number 1. So they are attached with Muassasa branch number 1. So whoever you want to contact, for instance, I'm looking for an officer representing field office number 3, and field office number 3 is Katsina. So I'm going to call him. He will liaise with the Muassasa. We are trying to ease the work to make it available on both iPhone and Android phone. As long as you are a staff, you can get the link and download it on your phone.
To manage the applications effectively, the ICT division is working in partnership with other divisions and units of the Commission.
The ICT is working hand in hand with what a department known as Monitoring and Evaluation. Now, Monitoring and Evaluation is a department who is responsible to monitor the services being rendered to the pilgrims. And this department goes further to add this kind of value, that in the middle of the service being rendered, if something is realized or if something is going wrong within that process, the department notifies the Commission immediately so that necessary actions can be taken.
This is NAHCON Hajj Guide application, which enables pilgrims to learn about Hajj and Umrah. It was jointly developed by the ICT and Pilgrims Education and Orientation divisions of NAHCON. It contains almost everything about Hajj rites.
Which is in the Apple Store, which is also in the Android Play Store, and also online on the internet. It is available in English and Hausa for now, and we hope that very soon we are going to add so many other languages to it.
In making this giant stride in ICT, NAHCON takes into consideration the needs of stakeholders such as the State Pilgrims Welfare Board and tour operators so as to develop the appropriate synergy in Hajj administration and management.
And now when you talk about external training, which is basically the training of states, IT personnel, and tour operators, and even extended to their chief executive sometimes if there is need, we have not been lacking in that regard. Over the years, as you are aware, we have trained them on so many occasions. At least most of the time we make sure that we train them like twice before Hajj.
In 2017, NAHCON inaugurated the Complaint Management System Center at Mecca office of the Commission. It has the capacity to record complaints by pilgrims while in Saudi Arabia. Its services are around the clock.
We have people that manage that call center. They are multilingual people that speak various languages of Nigeria, and also people that speak Arabic to be able to interact with the Hajj authorities.
For this year's Hajj and the years ahead, NAHCON plans to upgrade the center to make it possible for pilgrims to make free calls.
So the Commission wants to go a step further to even provide a toll-free line so that they can call at no cost. Because a person is already facing a challenge, having an issue. Then worst of all is you are telling the person to add, a person is already facing a challenge or has an issue. Then you are telling that person to also, in addition to that, to spend more money to resolve that issue. You understand the level of what's it called, grievance that might be expressed. But knowing that, okay, immediately there is an issue, all he needs is to have his phone and just dial that number, and someone will respond to him.
Similarly, in line with the Act establishing the Commission, a biometric data bank has been established for the purpose of documenting all Nigerian intending pilgrims for the Hajj and Umrah. This service has since been made online for ease of pilgrims' registration. In all, the idea of adopting ICT has not only transformed the operations of NAHCON in Hajj Management Administration, but also has allowed for transparency and effective monitoring of pilgrims and service providers.
MashaAllah, you're still watching as you answer the call. Coming up next is Making the Hajj. Last week we started discussions with Imam Yaqub Al-Hassan about Ihram and its general rules. Tonight, Malama Fatima Umar Bolori will take us through discussions on the Ihram, do's and don'ts as it relates to women. Let's hear the discussion.
Pilgrims in the state of Ihram must observe certain rules laid down in Islam. In these rules, there are those that apply to all pilgrims. Then, some other ones that are peculiar to either men or women only. What are those rules designated for only women? On Making the Hajj tonight, Malama Fatima Umar Bolori, the head of Women Needs Unit under the Pilgrims Education and Orientation Division of NAHCON, provide answers to these and other questions. She begins by explaining the position of Ihram in the course of the Hajj or Umrah.
Ihram is one of the 4 pillars of Hajj. Hajj has 4 pillars: Ihram, Tawaf, Tawaf al-Ifada, and standing in Arafat. So it's a pillar of Hajj. Without Ihram, your Hajj is invalid. So Ihram is compulsory in Hajj, and we have to do it very well as the Prophet ﷺ teaches us. We have to follow the instruction of Ihram and do it the right way.
Before assuming the state of Ihram, women, just like the men, are expected to take the ritual bath and do some general cleanliness of the body, such as trimming of the nails and armpit hair, among others. What are the Ihram rules for menstruating women?
For women in her menstruation period, there is hadith from the Rasul ﷺ that is saying, women in menstruation, they can do all the Hajj rituals except Tawaf. So she would also take her bath, she can put on her Ihram and continue all what other pilgrims are doing, she can do it, except for Tawaf. Of course, we are not expecting her to pray.
When in the state of Ihram, men are only allowed prescribed dress code that consists of 2 pieces of unsewn cloth. But in the case of women, there are no such specifications.
The difference is that for men, they're using 2 white garments unsewn, but for the women they're allowed to use their normal dresses, as far as it contains the qualities of hijab in Islam. It should be wide, it should be untransparent, it should be unfitted, it should be unattractive. They will use their normal clothes, any color, be it white, green, red, any color.
What are the do's and don'ts that are peculiar to women when in the state of ihram?
You cannot cover your face. You cannot put niqab, you cannot put hand gloves, but you can use your inner waist, your normal dressing. You can do that, but you are not allowed to cover your face. You will not cut your hair, you will not cut your nails, you will not kill like animals that are not harmful. And all misbehavior things, you will not do it. You just have to establish a good relationship between you and Allah. You continue the chanting, continue remembering Allah, continue good behaviors and become.
Malama Fatima Bolori therefore advised pilgrims, particularly women, on the need to participate in all pilgrims' education activities in order to understand more about Hajj and or Umrah.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد.
Welcome back. Up next is the quiz. Segment. Our last question on the program was, on which day of the Miqatul Zaman do pilgrims move to Mina, and what is the day called? The correct answer is the 8th day of Zulhijjah, and it is called Yawmul Tarwiyah. The winner is Nafisa Salihu Bello from Yola, Adamawa State. She provided the answer ahead of others. Nafisa Salihu Bello will be contacted on how NAHCON will reach her with the prize she won. A quiz winner will get 25,000 Naira cash prize. This is part of NAHCON's effort in social investment in Nigeria. For this week, the question is, mention 5 acts allowed and 5 prohibited for pilgrims while in the state of Ihram. I repeat, mention 5 acts allowed and 5 prohibited for pilgrims while in the state of Ihram. Text your answer to the number shown on your screen. The winner will be the first person whose correct answer is received. All answers should carry the name and location of sender. Good luck and happy viewing. Before we go, let's take some messages from our viewers. Lawal Hame Kofar Sauri from Katsina State sends in the first message. It reads, I performed Hajj in 2018. I'm planning another Hajj this year, inshallah. My question is, do I have to pay the additional 2,000 Saudi Riyals for repeating the Hajj?
Mr. Lawal Hame from Kofar Sauri, Katsina, thank you for your question. You don't have to pay 2,000 Saudi Riyals for performing the 2020 Hajj. This is because Saudi Arabia has introduced a flat visa fee for entry into Saudi Arabia. Whether you're going for the first time or for the repeated time, you will be charged 300 Riyals only, inshallah. So the 2,000 Saudi Riyals for re-entry into Saudi Arabia within 5 years has been cancelled.
Sanu Suleiman from Bayelsa State sent in the second message. It says, I am grateful to NAHCON for this program. I hope one day I will have the opportunity to contribute in the program. You too can send a message through our mobile number and other social media platforms. That's it on this edition of the program As You Answer the Call. Join us again same time next week for another package. Good night and thanks for watching.
لبيك اللهم لبيك لبيك لا شريك لك لبيك إن الحمد والنعمة لك